Hello and welcome to School News, which is brought to you by Olathe District Schools. I'm Loralee Baker-Rapue, your host. This is an exciting time of year for us as we take a look at the finalists for the Kansas Teacher of the Year and the Emporia State University Master Teacher of the Year competitions. Earlier in the year, every building in the district nominates their finalists for these awards. A selection committee reviews the nomination and selects 9 semifinalists, 3 for Master Teacher, 3 for Elementary Teacher of the Year, and 3 for Secondary Teacher of the Year. The district then videotapes teachers in their classroom and has interviews on video which the selection committee reviews. And this is your opportunity to get to know these 9 outstanding individuals as we take a look at some of the highlights of their tapes.
Okay, my name is Carol Beaver, and I am presently a math IRT coach at the elementary level, and this is my 32nd year in education.
I'm Cara Childress from Black Bob, and I've been a teacher since 1993.
My name is Marvalee Collins, and I'm currently an elementary school counselor at Sunnyside Elementary, and I have been an educator for approximately 27 years.
My name is Dwayne Dunn. I teach choir at Olathe East High School, and I've been there 7 years, and I've been teaching totally for 22 years.
I'm Angela Epps, and my current assignment is at Olathe North High School, and I teach grades 10 through 12 in the Geosciences 21st Century program.
My name is Christine Gorman. I teach 5th grade, and I have been a teacher for 14 years.
My name's Jason Martin. I teach 9th grade pre-AP English at Santa Fe Trail Junior High. I am also the AVID teacher for 7th and 8th grade at Santa Fe Trail, and I have been teaching for 14 years.
My name is Leanne Rogers, and I teach 1st grade at Prairie Central Elementary, and this is my 20th year teaching.
Faith Scott, Regency Place, 2nd grade, 12 years.
As I see children learn and grow, as a counselor, I teach children from the time they enter kindergarten through 6th grade, so I get to work with them for 7 years. And it's a wonderful opportunity because I get to see them learn and grow and change over the years.
When should I get out of bed?
Yeah, a common decision. When should I get out of bed? And it has consequences. So if I stay in bed a little bit longer, the positive is that I'll get more sleep. But what would the negative be? Huh?
I'll be late for school.
Okay, you could be late for school because you might not have time to get ready and get dressed, have breakfast, and do the things that you need to do.
No matter our attempts to inform, it is our ability to inspire that will turn the tides. I feel like that is pretty fundamental in my philosophy of teaching.
There's lots of movement and action. Sometimes we'll do a chant or bat each letter like we're batting a ball, or we'll sing a song that'll go with the word of the day.
The word of the day is there. T-H-E-R-E.
One more time.
T-H-E-I-R spells there. Try it again. T-H-E-R-E.
Dribble it out.
Oh, yeah. T-H-E-R-E, there. T-H-E-I-R spells there. All right, reach in your pocket. Pull out your basketball. Let's do some dribbling. We're going to dribble and shoot the letters today. Get ready. Here we go. T-H-E-I-R spells there. All right, 1st graders, have a seat.
Teaching and working with kids is so much more beyond maybe a knowledge base, that it's more of a relationship. It's more of helping kids learn to satiate their inquisitiveness and ways that they can explore questions that they have about the world around them.
We live in a world that is changing all the time, and how can you have a good educational system if you're not preparing kids for that world? We have technology that's changing daily. We have medicine that, children live today that wouldn't have survived 10 years ago, and they're sitting in your classroom. It is a very interesting world out there.
Kids just have to learn working with one another and with all different kinds of teachers. And everybody's had a really strict teacher. Everyone's, had a teacher that always hugged them. Everyone, will have all of those different experiences, and every one of those is necessary because it teaches them how to be flexible. And, wisdom only comes from those types of obstacles, facing those obstacles and getting through them and realizing, well, I'm way more resilient than I thought I was. Luke.
John Chapman.
John Chapman. And what was special about John Chapman? What I wanted to do was, again, give them an opportunity to think what it might have been like to be like Johnny Appleseed. And just traveling across America and dropping seeds everywhere and telling people how great apples are and how healthy they are and all these important things. And right, and why did he do that? Was he bored? Just had a whole bunch of apple seeds and just threw them on the ground wherever he went? No. Why did he do that, Caitlin? I asked them, what would you do? What would you, take to people all over the United States if you could? So he must have really believed in what he was doing to be willing to travel all alone, right? And he wore something really funny on his head. I think Johnny Appleseed was a little bit, you think he had a silly side? I think he had a silly side for sure. What did he carry around on his head, Jessica? Some kids are, teaching about the importance of being kind to animals, and some kids are talking about music and sharing that with the people in the world or in the, in our country. And so it was just kind of a neat way to personalize the story with the kids. Michaela, what did you come up with? If you could travel across America, what would you share?
I teach people how to do horseback riding.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And now why would that be important, Michaela?
So you could get around a lot easier.
Okay, so there'd be an alternative to getting around. You know what else would be nice, Michaela? If more people rode on horses, would we be using lots of gas? Would we use as much gas? No. You might be onto something, Michaela Ballou. You might just be onto something. I love that.
As a school counselor, I work very hard to integrate into my guidance lessons those ideas that we're working on as a building that we've identified as academic needs. And so I think, integrating into my lessons math and reading skills, I think is an important role that I play because it's a team effort.
Well, today we're going to make some decisions. I want you to experience decision making. And you'll make some decisions on your own. You're going to make a decision with a partner and then also with a group so that you can understand the group decision-making process.
Fourth graders are already being pulled into activities and situations based on group decisions. And unfortunately, sometimes those group decisions lead them into activities that can be destructive or unsafe. So I think it's important for them to understand the process of group decision making and how to cope with the pressure that comes from group decision making.
Now what I'd like for you to do is pair with a partner in your group. So you've done some thinking, you're going to pair and share your idea. What is estimation? So talk with your partner about it very quickly.
Within the lesson, children have the opportunity to find estimation, to work with a range of numbers, to talk about estimation strategies, and really they'll make 4 estimates and they order their estimates from least to greatest. So those are math skills that they work on.
Once you've completed number 1, please stop. Same partner. It says, my partner and I estimate. And I want you to talk about why you chose the number you chose in box number 1. So tell your number, give a reason why, and then let your partner do the same. And then you'll notice a second part. We worked it out by. So I want you to complete how you came up with your number, your estimate, together in your partnership.
And then we go to an active learning segment of the lesson. I think it's really important as a counselor that children have the opportunity to experience the learner. Rather than me talking to them about group decision making, I want them to experience making decisions.
Well, the focus has been reading and math, and again, it's finding where within your curriculum where those skills fit. I teach astronomy, so one of the things that I do every day for my bell ringer is to pull up astronomy picture of the day through the NASA website. And with that image, there is a description, an explanation of that image. And so the students come in and they pull out their sheet and they have to give a reflection on it. So they are looking at the picture, they're reading the information on the board, and then they are writing about that and giving a reflection or a summary or what confuses them.
That third piece talks about that change over time. Okay, when we have lots of little changes over a long period of time, then it looks like a great big change.
In Olathe, we have a school district that is second to none. The level of support we receive from our community is fantastic. The quality of our administrators and our teaching staff is of the highest level. I've always felt like not only am I supplied with the things I need to do to be successful, but people are willing to listen and work towards other areas of improvement that maybe they've never thought of before. It's a place where you can be creative, where you can try out new ideas, where you can enlist people to get on board with something new.
And Olathe is a shining star with the programs that we have in our district. You can't go anywhere else and find the 21st century programs, the comprehensive education that these kids get in the 4 high schools. I mean, there isn't a bad school in this district, and every school is working towards the achievement of that individual child, and I believe that Olathe puts children first.
I know some parents who homeschool their kids, and they're wonderful, and I love them, and I definitely understand their perspective. I think some of their concern comes from the fact that they think it seems like everything is too big, that the school is there's so many students. But I would invite them, again, to come to Arbor Creek Elementary, where it's like a little small town there. We care about each individual, and because we are so focused on that, and I think because we work as such a good team together, that we're able to look at each kid and see what they need and build kind of a program based on those needs.
Okay, show that to your table members, please. Okay, go to your front screen. Guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Ready? Go.
We have very high expectations for our students, but there are expectations that can be met in many different ways. In my classroom, we have Palm Pilots that we use on a daily basis that the kids just love.
Doing a nice job concentrating. Try to beat your personal best every day.
I believe that the best teachers are like some of the best coaches. I think that the first thing that you do when you get a student is you have to kind of assess where they're at academically. And I think coaches, they have training camps where they do that. And all week long they're with their clipboards and they're watching and they're getting, notes on students' strengths and areas where that they need to work.
The real question I have for you today is, did anybody beat their personal best? If you did, I need to see 1 muscle flex. Ready, go. And if you did not beat your personal best today, maybe you didn't eat your Wheaties. And maybe you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Please cry 2 silent tears. Ready, go. Okay, very good.
As teachers, we try to do that. We have our beginning of the year assessments. And I really think that that's the purpose of those assessments is to just get that knowledge and really to just get to know our kids as best we can. And then like coaches, we take that information and we use that to build our practices. And as teachers, of course, that would be our lesson plans. And that's what I think makes good coaches good and good teachers good is making the instruction as individualized and as specific to our students as we can.
Kids have so many opportunities in our schools to make friends and be parts of clubs and organizations, like maybe student leadership, or maybe they're on the Math Wings team when they get a little older.
Not only do we embrace the diversity that we have, but we step up to the plate and we deliver. I mean, I think you can look at the numbers, the facts, the data of any Olathe school and see what we can do. And I would happily match that to the statistics anywhere else. I mean, we get the job done.
And I think our district does a great job. We have IRTs and we have a lot of support to help us with that assessment piece. They just do an amazing job. And then we have our PLCs, our professional learning communities, where we meet with the other teachers in our grade level, some of our other specialists. And to me, those are like, I always feel like I'm the head coach of my classroom, and they are my assistant coaches. And together we meet and we talk about our kids, and it's very individualized, and it's what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what can we do together as a team to help these kids get to where they need to be.
We really try to utilize each other's strengths and the things that, each one of us is good at and best at, and then we just kind of share those things. And
we have to make teachers definitely be aware of what the indicators are, and that's one thing that our teachers in Olathe have done a phenomenal job, is the awareness, the implementation.
Candy! I felt it! Did you feel it, Moo?
I'm so very glad.
And allowing the kids to know what it is they're supposed to learn. Those goals and objectives are stated to the children. You ask them, what are we working on today? They'll definitely tell you, I'm doing this. How does that help you do something else? Well, that's the building block for this one. And they'll go through and tell you exactly how the sequence of events occurs. Okay, we have questions on 14 and 16, and we have questions on 18 and 20. Let me see if I can answer your question real quickly, babe. Excuse me, Kennedy, I don't want to step on you. And the children are usually given about 5 minutes to get yesterday's assignment graded, have an opportunity to ask me questions. They will always pinpoint certain problems that need to go back to, which I incorporate in the following day. Those of you who are all finished, I want you to take a look at the item on your table. There is a food item on every table. I want you to see if you can come up with a ratio having to do with that particular item. Remember what a ratio is. And the best one today was over a box of blueberry muffin mix. And the kids decided that they could have a ratio of...
We decided that it'd be 20 blueberries to 2 muffins.
20 blueberries to 2 muffins, because on the front of the box was 1 blueberry muffin prepared, and on the back was the other, and they literally counted the blueberries. Well, did that go under creating a ratio from that? It sure did. I had to give them credit for it. That was creative. How many of you think that that's an okay blueberry mix then? 20 blueberries sounds pretty good per muffin. And then they proceeded to build a proportion, then realizing that proportions have to be equal. They learned how to do cross products and also applying algebraic skills, and they were solving for the variable. So looking at that data, you're beginning to see ratios are pretty common all over, correct?
One of the things that is in one of the objectives for our state assessments and for the 5th grade curriculum is to understand mean, median, mode, and range, and how to figure that data. And again, I just try to do something that I know the kids will remember.
So you also have jobs, okay? The supply person in your group. We had a 6-inch incline maker. We've had a ramp maker. We had a ramp attacher. And we have a helper. So 5th graders, my advice to you before you get started is this. Number 1, you have a team. Please use them well. Okay, they're your best resource.
Even if it's an 8th grade or 9th grade or 10th grade and they're having to do something with mean, median, mode, and range, I want them to think back to 5th grade and that cool activity that we did.
How do you do this? Go.
But what we did was we created ramps out of our textbooks and some rulers.
139.
And we rolled marbles, and that served as our source of data collection.
114.
They then took their palms and took pictures with them.
Make sure that your picture is taken. You may do an action photo. You may do a group photo. This group right here is done, and so what they're going to do is they're going to clean up their area. They're going to go ahead and head to their seat and go to Docs to Go on their palms and start collecting all the data. Okay? Use all of that trial information to start making some calculations. Don't forget your sticky note. Who can raise their hand and tell me what you're going to do with your sticky note?
I teach a subject that engages all the domains of learning at the same time. And the performing arts are sort of unique in that regard. There's the cognitive aspect of how do I turn these symbols into sound. There's the psychomotor aspect of how do I get my body to function in a way that produces the sounds I want. And then there's that affective component about pulling my emotions and feeling into what I'm doing. And to help students do all three of those at one time is both exciting but also challenging.
Now the other thing that we have to figure out is how not to use our chins to find fray. The fray. Again, keep your chins down, shoot right through your eyes. Here we go, one more time, and the fragrance flows on. Can you do this for me? Can you put your finger right on your teeth? The fray. Ready, go. The fragrance. Good. Now keep your breath support underneath that same tone. I think you'll have it. Ready, and the fragrance flows on. Now put your hand down. See if you can recreate that sense of lift in your cheeks. Right up there in the front of your teeth, but breath support underneath it. Ready, and the fragrance flows out through all that you do. And we talked about this the other day. That you. Say tew. Just like you're a very proper British person and this is how you sneeze. A tew.
When you see my classroom, we're working on at least one of those things, and as we get closer and closer to the performances, we start melding all three of them into a rehearsal at the same time, because the goal of the performance is that all three of those things are functioning at their highest level.
Do that one more time, same thing.
This is my biggest choir, and we have a great diversity of experience levels. We have a great diversity of talent levels and seriousness about choir. Some kids, this is their life and passion. Other students, this is something their friend is in and they wanted to join in. They're a great group, but we're trying to figure out how do we all unify ourselves to produce that artistic performance that's the goal. And it requires each person to subjugate a little bit of their individuality to the good of the group. And we're trying to unify our vowel shapes, we're trying to unify our tone quality, we're trying to be very precise when we enter and exit. And all of those things require each person in the group to commit to being perfect, to doing it right. And you can't get by if 75% of them get it right. All of them have to get it right. So we spend a lot of time trying to encourage each other to be a part of the success. Everybody's got to be responsible to get their part right, and it only can be the best artistic performance when each person does that. So in the rehearsal you see us stopping to work on, unifying a vowel shape or getting a pitch in tune or trying to get everybody to come in exactly together, and those are challenges that we face all the time, and we keep working to perfect them. And as we get closer to the concert, I expect them to get better at those things, and they do.
One of the things we really work on in first grade is for them to be able to learn and implement the use of good reader strategies or ways to figure out words they don't know.
The first secret word, it has the sh sound in it at the end.
We'll be working on a particularly difficult sound for some of my first graders, which is the SH sound, and being able to hear it at beginning and ending of words, and we'll work on some of that in the morning, and that'll lead us right into reading that morning.
Lauren asked what two letters make the sh sound?
SH.
Okay, so everybody's probably quickly getting an SH to put at the end. And if I was your fairy godmother, I could grant one of these for you. And as your fairy godmother, I could grant her. So I think that, there's the science of teaching, preparing students, for tests and for the things that they need to achieve. But there's the art of teaching too. And I think the art of teaching comes from the heart. And so I think that most people don't know all that teachers do that come from the heart.
So today what we're going to be doing is talking about or learning how to use tools to look at the dinosaur bones and work on the dinosaur bones. But we're actually going to be working with brachiopods today because we kind of got to step back and do the basics first.
And so the idea is to extract the brachiopod from the limestone without any damage to the brachiopod. So, I have to talk to them about how the tools work, how the compressor works, the safety issues, making sure they wear their glasses, and then the techniques with the tool. And
your tool is going to be at this angle, touching the rock, the bedrock, not the brachiopod, not the fossil. If I get to a point where it's stubborn, it won't chip away, then I back off again and I pick a new spot.
The tips on the tools are expensive, and so it's important not to break them, and going through all the different, procedures.
You're going to learn, you're going to mess up, you're going to do it wrong, and that's okay. And I'm going to come around, I'm going to say, you're doing it wrong, and then I'm going to help you, because it's hard for me to show you how and then have you know how right away. That's why we use the brachiopod, so that you can work on this first before you get to the dinosaur bones, because it's the dinosaur bones that we don't want you to mess up on.
I give a demo and I demonstrate to them how to hold it at the angle and to work their way from the outside in.
See how that came right off of there?
To the brachiopod, and then hopefully one of the things with brachiopods is they kind of pop out of the rock once you get them to a certain point. And so when they pop out, a lot of times the kids go, oh, I got it, and then we'll take a look at it and see how they did. And so they have to kind of graduate to a certain level, a certain expertise with that. And the kids are really excited to get started on it.
Almost. There you go. Good job. Okay.
I think most teachers see the bigger picture also, though, and we still are about the same things we've always been about, which is to help our students go to the next level, whether that's high school for me or college, prepared for the challenges that are going to face them. I think we all have that as the end in mind.
Teachers teach what students need to know, what students are demanding to know, what their community wants the students to know, what colleges and universities and the workforce expect students to know. Teachers have to take all those things into account. And some of those things are easily tested by paper and pencil means. Some of those things are not testable by paper and pencil means. There is no standardized test in my subject matter. They have to get up in front of a live audience and perform and demonstrate what they've learned on a periodic basis.
Yeah, way to wait for me there. Good. All right.
I think that every child can learn, and I think when you teach special education, you see that, more than anything.
What is it?
Can we say that with a back sound? Try. Put it in the back. One.
Good. There's a good back sound. Cut.
Don't let your tongue trick you.
Very simply, I think you have to be patient. I think you need to be persistent.
Good. Now say cut. Good try. Can I help you with a pencil pointer?
I think you have to be creative. There's no doubt about that, especially in today's world. You really need to be innovative about the way you teach kids. I think it has to have meaning. If it doesn't have meaning for their lives, it isn't going to be something that they're going to retain or use very readily.
Slide your finger out, honey. There we go. Okay, look at me. I'm going to press on your tongue, and we're going to make a back sound together. Everybody watch. Can we clap when Emily makes a back sound? Because that would make her feel really good. Let's clap when she makes one. Okay. Did you see? When your tongue's in the back, you can make a back sound. Let's do it again. Make a big, loud one. Ready? Oh, that was wonderful. Can we clap for our friend? Yay!
and it is rule-based teaching, which is kind of fun. What we actually do is, instead of teaching a sound, we found that that's very ineffective if you just teach one sound. It's not as effective as if you teach a class of sounds. And so in this lesson, it was the first lesson of the children learning something new, and they were learning about a class of sounds we call back sounds, which is primarily C and K.
This letter is what? Who remembers? That's the sound it makes. The name of this letter is K. Say that with me.
K. B-U-R-K-E. I have a K in my name.
You sure do. Put your hand here. Put your tongue down low. Put your hand on your throat. Good job. Everybody can make it. Okay, there's another letter. Does anyone know what letter this is?
P. P.
Not P. P is our popcorn sound. This one is C. The letter C. C. And C also makes this sound.
I thoroughly believe that every child can learn. Not every child learns at the same rate, which is the struggle that we are facing right now. But that I believe that a child can do what they set their mind to do, as long as they have the assistance along the way.
My question, though, is how are these alike? 1 cup to 4 hours, 2 minutes to 4 servings. Tell me how you're doing it.
You need to teach the skill first, because if children know the skills, the application follows.
But what was your direction? Were you to write a ratio? We took it one step further. We now have an equality, and we're talking 2 ratios.
The other piece that is really strong to me is the fact that if you have the bar at this level, children will meet up to that expectation. If you set the bar at this level, children are going to meet up at this and meet this expectation.
Every single one of your tables was successful in creating a proportion. Now, there are things that you can do with proportions. Remember, it takes what to create a proportion?
2 ratios.
2 ratios. And what else do we have to have? We have to have an equivalency or an
I think
equality.
when we engage emotion and we give students an opportunity to think about their thinking, that's when the learning goes from surface knowledge into that deeper meaning and the long-term memory. And that's when students are more likely to access it and apply it to their daily lives.
I really believe that what we need to do as teachers is help the kids become curious questioners again, almost, in 9th grade in particular. And so a lot of what we do in the classroom is based around inquiry. What on that flag represents something besides what it is? Rather than simply telling the students what a symbol is, I would have them in collaborative groups and ask them a question. You know, what do you think a symbol is, and do you know of any symbols? And let the conversation start more from what their basic understanding of it is, and then let the lesson evolve. The stripes actually mean something. Are there 13?
Yeah, they should be.
Think so? What are the odds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13.
And like
13?
And I don't remember what the colors mean something. I don't remember.
Okay, the colors represent something as well. We have the stars representing 50 states. Okay, Sam?
Like I know, like blue, like the color blue normally means loyalty, and like red means like power, and white means like innocence and purity.
So it's possible that colors and symbols mean something. You'll see, hopefully, a lot of questions coming from me and not a lot of answers. What do we have there, though? What would we look for? Even if you don't know what it is, what kinds of things can we relate to right away? I hope you'll also see that the kids are getting involved with the activity and sharing real responses, asking questions themselves, and it's leading up to them creating some symbols of their own and letting them express themselves kind of personally. We're going to create something called a mandala. And a mandala is sort of like a flag in the sense that it could have pictures on it, could involve colors, but it is very personal. All right? You guys are going to create a mandala that represents yourself. And I've got some things to help you. It's interesting, as soon as you said, someone said rainbow butterfly, my eyes were immediately drawn up because I'm looking for a rainbow and I see those rainbows of colors, but the butterfly is down on the bottom. Okay? There's some dogs.
There's a sword.
Oh, there's what? I'm sorry?
Sword.
Mm.
The thing in the second.
Oh man, I didn't even see that. It's right in the middle. I really didn't. I'm serious. What's cool about these is you look at them and it's something different every time.
The greatest compliment that a child can give a teacher is to come back and or stay in contact. And because my beginning class are now in their 40s, I have had many, many opportunities. Just recently received an email. Is this the Mrs. Beaver that I had in 5th grade? And I have been able to come back into communication with that student. I did not realize that something that I did by believing in this individual has allowed this child to not only go against all of the odds academically, but has graduated with a degree in education and is now pursuing her first elementary ed job. And I have to be honest, I have goosebumps because I was able to pass on just that belief that you can do it.
You know, they're stories that we hear over and over because they're true. They really happen. You remember not what lesson your teacher taught you. You remember how they made you feel and whether or not you felt safe to take risks in that classroom.
I attended Olathe schools K through 12, and I remember I went to the University of Kansas, and I was told that I needed to put in a bunch of different applications because it's tough to get a job teaching. And I turned in one application, and I said, you know what, this is where I want to teach.
Yes! Okay, now, let's move on to our problem of the week.
And now I'm very pleased to announce the 3 finalists from our district: Christine Gorman from Arbor Creek Elementary, Angela Epps from Olathe North High School, and Marvalee Collins from Sunnyside Elementary. Congratulations to all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.